So you may have been doing art for a while, and either you decided to yourself, or perhaps your friends have even told you, start doing commissions, and you have found yourself in the world of commissions, and you don't necessarily know where to start, how to price your content, what you should and should not accept, what you're comfortable with. And folks, that's where I come in. I have been doing commissions for about 4 years, and there's not a lot of resources on where to start, what to do, how to conduct yourself, if you're even ready for commissions. And folks, that's where I come in. I decided that I was going to make a comprehensive guide for you to start doing commissions. But before I get into that, make sure you guys comment. I want to know, how long have you guys been doing art, and how long have you considered doing commissions? Let me know. I'm curious. You want to, before you even start doing commissions, you need to kind of take a personal inventory and ask yourself, are you even ready to do commissions? First of all, you want to make sure that you are over 18. I would highly recommend this for anyone who's doing commissions. If you are not 18, I do know some people that do workarounds and things like that, but most payment methods require you to be at least 18 years of age in order for you to sign up for them, the biggest one being PayPal. Another thing that you need to think about is whether or not you are able to work on a deadline. Are you able to start a project and finish it within a reasonable amount of time? Because somebody is paying you for your art, and they don't necessarily expect it to be lightning fast. Nobody does. But if you're taking a little bit too long, it kind of leaves a bad taste in the mouth of the person that is buying the art from you. Another thing that you should consider is, are you open to criticism or critique? When it comes to commissions, again, somebody is paying you for your work. If it doesn't turn out the way that they would like, if they would like a different pose, if they'd like the colors to be a different way, if you're not following the references closely enough, if they want to just tweak anything about the design, are you going to be able to be open to changing the art that you've already made? That one is pretty big, especially with newer artists who aren't necessarily used to that kind of criticism or critique, because it's never actually in bad faith. It's just the customer wanting the best product that they've paid for. Another thing is, if you are able to communicate with your client. This kind of ties into the last one, where you need to be able to communicate a lot of the steps of the artwork to your client. That way they have plenty of room to tweak it whenever they need to. They also, because you are communicating with them on the steps of the commission, they aren't wondering, oh, I paid this person for art and I haven't heard from them in weeks. Did they just take my money and run? Again, it just leaves a bad taste in the mouth of the person who is paying for your art. But if you are over 18, if you're able to work under a deadline, if you're open to criticism and critique, and if you're able to communicate with your client, these are great starting points. And I would say that these make you ready to start taking commissions. Now let's get into like the actual goods that you're selling. What are you going to sell? Are you going to sell icons, profile pictures? Are you doing chibis, busts, 1/2 of the body, 3/4 full body? Are you only doing an SFW, NSFW? Are you able to do furries? Are you able to do anthros? I would definitely figure these things out of what you're able to draw within reason that you are willing to take money for, basically. I wouldn't recommend selling something that you are not confident in selling. And again, nobody can tell you what you are and aren't willing to sell, so this is something definitely for you to figure out. And of course, my perspective is mostly based off of illustrations and portraits. If you have more specialized commissions, for instance, if you do animatic commissions, if you do animations, if you do reference sheets, I would definitely look into those as well. Now for the time-consuming part. All of those types of art, those products that you're selling, I would make a comprehensive list of all of those. You're going to need samples of your work anyways. Now you may already have these samples, but this is kind of a double whammy for lack of a better word. You're going to want to take each category that you're selling and you are going to make a list. You're going to want to take the sketch, the line, the color, the shade, all the things that you are willing to sell, all of the stages that you're willing to sell as well, and time yourself drawing each stage. This is the most time-consuming part of this process, in my opinion. And it's definitely not for the faint-hearted, but you're definitely going to want these times. Don't forget to write down the times. For instance, if you want to do busts and you're going to do sketches, line arts, and full renders, you're going to want to time yourself and write down the time when you're finished with the sketch, write down the time when you have finished with your line art, and write the time down when you've finished with your full render. Now, this is the most important part. Do not rush. Do not rush a single bit of it. Take as much time as you need to create a product that you think is worth selling. Don't race against the clock. Don't cut down time where you think that you could cut it down. In fact, include breaks. If you have to step away to go to the bathroom, if you have to step away to eat, if you have to step away to do anything, include that time. Now, with those times, it's now time to get into pricing. Now, pricing is really up to you, but now is not the time to have imposter syndrome. Take your hourly rate, which typically, when it comes to an hourly rate, again, that is up to you, how much you think your time is worth. I would consider your skill, your speed, and if you do any niches, if you specialize in any niches, for instance, if you do animation, or if you draw furry art, or if you draw NSFW art, consider those in your hourly rate and consider your worth. Again, this is not the time to get imposter syndrome. You need to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself what your work is actually worth. However, I will say if it is lower than your area's minimum wage, go in the corner. Just go in the corner. Think about what you've done. Again, what did I say about having imposter syndrome? You are worth more than what unskilled labor is, because this is skilled labor. You're going to take your hourly rate and you are going to multiply it by the time it took you to finish each and every category. And those are your prices for those categories. Do not, and this is my preference, do not offer discounts to friends or family. I understand that it may be weird to ask your family or your friends to pay full price. However, the people that respect you, respect your skill, and respect your craft will pay full price. This does not include like sales or promotions if you want to do them. This is talking about friends and family discounts. Never offer them. Another thing that I will say is never accept less than what your written price is. Do not accept products or exposure. Okay, so you have made your prices, you've written down how long it's going to take you to finish each category. Now, what about actually getting a commission, accepting commissions? I cannot stress this enough, but please set boundaries for yourself. Never accept a commission of something you're not comfortable with, work with someone rude or abusive, or start working without payment. You yourself reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. And to tie back to the accepting work without payment, don't ever do that. Unless, personally, for myself, if I get a larger project or an ongoing project, I will accept a sort of payment plan that I will hash out with my customer or my client, aka the most popular one that I do is like half now and half before the finish, or half now and half before the finished product is sent over. There comes a point where you are a little worried about possibly what if you accept too many commissions. There's definitely multiple ways to prevent this. A lot of people decide to do commission slots. Most people have about 3 to 6 commission slots open, and once they're full, commissions are closed. Or perhaps just use your discretion. How long is it going to take you to finish the commissions that you have? Include your job, your sleeping time, your eating time, your personal time, because honestly, you should not be working 24 hours a day. You need to be able to take care of yourself. You need to keep in mind that you may have a day job on top of this. You may have school. You may not have the money to dedicate some time to finish that, or you may not even have the motivation. A lot of the artists have their own mental struggles, and so the motivation to finish work, especially work that they're getting paid for, is diminished. And you should be honest with yourself on how long these projects are going to take. You should be honest with yourself about how long this project is going to take, rather than how long it should take. If it is going to take more than a month, I would recommend you do not accept it, unless it is a long, ongoing project, but then, of course, again, use your discretion. And honestly, be courteous. If you, honest to God, cannot finish a commission that you've already accepted, please refund them and apologize. Most clients will get it. If you're accepting a lot of commissions, keep track. Keep their handle with the date commission, the date the payment was received and the amount, the date that you should finish it by, and how much of it is complete. And then afterwards, put the date that it was completed / sent over to the client. Now you've kind of set your own boundaries for pricing. You've set your own boundaries for accepting commissions. Now what about a commission sheet? Well, you can customize your commission sheet in any way that you would like. You are currently watching me build my most recent commission sheet, and I will go ahead and put what my other commission sheets looked like here, actually. See how they have differed in different pricing, how they've differed in aesthetics, and how they differed in formatting. I'm actually the most proud of the commission sheet that I currently have pinned on my Instagram. How I can technically just keep it down to one sheet if I really, really wanted to. On one sheet, I have most, if not all of the pricing down for each of the categories that I do, and I also have examples of each of them. It makes it really nice and cohesive, but I like to include some of my own personal guidelines as well as some specials that I might do. For instance, my character reference sheets or my icons that I provide at a discounted rate. However, the most important part, other than the actual pricing sheet itself, is the guidelines part of the commission sheet. And that's the only reason why my commission sheet needs a little bit more than one page, because I do put a do not interact, mostly because I don't want to deal with those types of people. However, you don't have to put a do not interact. The most important things that you need to put on a commission sheet are what you are willing to draw, what you aren't willing to draw, what payment methods you accept, and other guidelines that you may require the customer to know before they even message you. But other than that, as long as you have most, if not all of that information down on a commission sheet, the possibilities are endless and the aesthetics are really up to you. As long as it has the information that is needed and it is actually readable and not like super eye straining or anything like that, there's no wrong way to make a commission sheet. I've seen it done thousands of different ways in my time on the internet, so honestly, go ham. But anyways, this was my comprehensive guide of how to start taking commissions, and if you have any other lingering questions about taking commissions or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them the best as I can. Of course, I'm not an expert in taking commissions. There are definitely people who have been doing this for longer than I have, but I think that it is really important not to gatekeep this type of information, because really you should be valuing your craft at the level that it is. Anyways, I loved talking with you guys, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye!